Wow. send text message. Good afternoon, Abi. Afternoon, everyone. Abi. Thanks for joining meeting. Comments by 2 p.m. Oga reply the last test and everything.
No, never.
Okay.
Make I check my message. You know, if I could just see how try it. I was 3 minutes to do. This the camera. So you never verify whether the position of
Hmm.
I forget to go to the camera just this is almost two.
No, test time.
But let's say if you look Good afternoon, everyone. We have all been muted except the hosts. Anywhere from now, we'll commence the interactive session. So we just want us to just, feel free and let's be relaxed. In 2 minutes' time, we'll start the interaction. I'm just speaking just to be sure you can hear what I'm saying. But for now, all participants have been muted to avoid distraction. This is Ambosali University, EPOMA. You are highly welcome to this online interaction. Thank you very much. Just be patient. In the next 1-2 minutes, we'll start. Thank you. So before we commence, I want to be very sure you can hear me speak. So if you can hear me, you can just wave your hands or send a chat or just give us any sign. Let me know you can hear me. You can just wave your hand. Okay, I can see someone waving. So let me assume we can all hear. Yes, others are waving. So you can send chats. If you have any problem along the line, audio, just send a chat and we'll address it. So we rely so much on your feedback. Thank you very much. But while we are still waiting, you can join this interactive session through Zoom or through YouTube. So inform your colleagues, your friends to also join through YouTube if they are unable to join via Zoom. Thank you. Also, let me use this opportunity to inform all students that during the course of this interaction, we'll be entertaining questions. Questions coming in can be in form of chats. So we'll collate them and we'll give them good answers. If we're unable to treat your question, you can always see us. Our office is in the new administrative building, the Directorate of Quality Assurance and Linkages. Okay, without wasting much time, I think we can commence our online interactive session. The Vice Chancellor of our great university, Ambosali University, is Professor I.A. Onimawe. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor and his management team, I welcome all undergraduate students to Ambosali University, EPOMA, to this online interactive session. This session is currently live on Zoom and on YouTube. So please, as said earlier, inform your friends and colleagues to join using any of these channels. The YouTube link is as seen in the flyer. It's youtube.com/AAU EPOMA_quality assurance. I repeat, youtube.com/AAU EPOMA_quality assurance. That is the YouTube link. My name is Dr. O.M. Inyagwe, the Acting Director, Directorate of Quality Assurance and Linkages. As we begin this interactive session, we commit this session into the hands of the Almighty God, praying that God glorifies His name and that every student will be enriched intellectually in Jesus' name. Amen. The Directorate of Quality Assurance and Linkages is under the office of the Vice Chancellor, and it has several administrative duties. But before I continue, there's an announcement from the Chairman, Ambosali University Learning Management System, Professor M.A. Azeke. He said I should inform all students that the online lectures on the AAU Learning Management System will soon commence. We are already at the final stage of getting data, and the login details and the instructional guide will be released to students soon. So please start warming up. AAU will soon go live on LMS. So you will get information very, very soon. It's sooner than we think. So let's continue. For the purpose of this interactive session, the activities of the directorate as it relates to students is going to be our focus. Now, this interaction is scheduled for 2 days, today and tomorrow. And this interaction is in line with the vision of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Nimawa, and it is in the school's academic calendar. If you look at the school academic calendar, it's stated there, online interaction with students. So the directorate therefore saw the need to take this opportunity to inform all undergraduate students on the activities of the directorate as it concerns them. The major activities of this directorate of quality assurance and linkages as it concerns students are 3 in number, 3 of them. The first one is the students' assessment of academic staff teaching. The second one is plagiarism check. And the third one is the short online certificate courses. So these 3 activities of the directorate are directly connected with students. And that is the essence of this interaction, to enlighten you on what they are, because they are relatively new to the students. Now, I'm conscious of the cost of data and time. So we'll do everything possible to ensure that we don't exceed 40 minutes in this interaction for today. As a reminder, please, as I'm speaking, if you are not clear with anything, send your comments as chats. And you can also send us an email, qal@aauepoma.edu.ng for any inquiry. Or better still, you can visit our office in the new administrative building, and we'll give you all necessary attention. So today, our focus is on students' assessment of academic staff teaching. Student assessment of academic staff teaching. Now, there are 3 main responsibilities of lecturers: research, teaching, and community development. There are 3 main activities. Please, if you can hear me, just wave your hands. If you can hear me, wave your hands. Okay, thank you. So there are 3 main activities for academic staff. We have teaching, research, and community development. Now, depending on some prevailing factors, some lecturers may unknowingly pay more attention to other academic responsibilities at the expense of teaching. And this can lead to poor graduate quality. Hence, the need to periodically assess the teaching of academic staff to improve the quality of graduates is necessary. So to achieve this, the Vice Chancellor directed our directorate, the Quality Assurance and Linkages, to commence processes that will ensure that students are able to assess the teaching of academic staff. After the normal due process of Senate approvals, an online tool that will enable students to assess academic staff teaching was developed. So all students are now encouraged to actively participate in this evaluation exercise. Now you may want to ask, why are we saying students should assess lecturers? They are teaching. Why? There are several reasons, but because of time, I'll just narrow it down to 4. Number 1, when the lecturer knows that his or her teaching of a course will be rated by students, it will improve the overall quality of teaching, hence the quality of graduate outputs. I'm a lecturer, I'm teaching, and I know my method of teaching, the way I'm teaching, is going to be rated by students. I'll be conscious of that. I don't want to get a poor rating. I want to ensure that I'm rated very high. As such, I will prepare well for the lecture. So every student is opportune to be seen as a major stakeholder in improving the quality of teaching. So I want you to know that every student is a major stakeholder in improving the quality of teaching. And you can do this by rating the teaching of your lecturers. The second reason is that it is the students that are being taught that knows whether or not he or she is satisfied with the mode of teaching. It's not the lecturer. I am lecturer. I can be teaching. The only person that can tell us whether or not what I have taught makes sense is the student. That's why sometimes you see lecturers saying, "Can you understand me? Do you understand any question?" It is the students that is giving that feedback. Now, the third reason, I mentioned feedback now. This rating of academic staff teaching is a feedback mechanism to the lecturer to enable them know if the method of teaching is satisfactory. And finally, it is the right of the students to assess their teachers. They are the direct beneficiaries of what is being taught. Hence, they can identify anomalies in the process. So know that it is a right of a student to assess the teachers because the students are the direct beneficiaries of what is being taught, not the lecturers themselves, it's the students. Now, let's talk about the rating. How do we rate this teaching? Now, each course, you have several courses. If you're 100 level, 200 level, you have several courses in your first semester, second semester, and so on. It could be 5 courses, 6 courses, and so on. Each course will be rated by each student. So let's assume you are in, let's say, 100 level, and you're taking, let's say, for example, 5 courses. You are going to be rating each of these 5 courses. The average rating of all the students per course will be used as the overall rating for that course. So let's take, for example, Chemistry 101, for example. Let's assume 5 students are taking this course, Chemistry 101. If the first student rated the teaching of our course after all the calculations are 60%, another one rated 70, another rated 40, the average of these 5 ratings will serve as the overall rating for that course. So every course will have its own rating. Now, another thing you need to know about the rating of these courses, every course lecturer will be sent the reports of the rating to enable them improve the quality of their teaching where applicable. So if a course is rated poorly in terms of teaching, the lecturer will see that report, that this is the report from the students concerning this course, concerning the teaching of this course. The lecturer has to buckle up, or the lecturer needs to address issues that may have led to this poor rating. But one thing you should know is that no matter how you rate the teaching of a course, the identities of the students who rate the course cannot be revealed to the course lecturer. So bear that in mind that the identities of the students cannot be revealed to the lecturer. It's not possible. So you are secured. So even if you rate a lecturer 0 based on anything, that is your own rating. The lecturer doesn't know if you're the one that did that. Now the rating would be in a 5, it's called a 5-scale rating. 5 is excellent. 4 is very good. 3 is fair. 5 excellent, 4 very good, 3 is good, 2 fair, 1 poor. I repeat, the scale is excellent 5, very good 4, good 3, fair 2, poor 1. So at the end of all the ratings, I will explain to you what you have to rate. If a lecturer is scoring between 0 to 49, that is a very poor rating in terms of teaching. If it's between 50 to 59, you can say it's good. The teaching of that course is good. If it's between 60 to 69, the teaching is very good. And if it is 70 and above, it is excellent. So all these ratings will be available for you to see on the website. So don't just worry. I'm just trying to explain to you what what you are going to be seeing during waiting. Now, let me explain to you the instruments. We call them instruments for assessing academic staff teaching. What are those things you want to assess about the teaching of a course by a lecturer? There are several of them. Number one, provision of course outline. Yes, we know the course outline is available in the course handbook, your faculty handbook, the method handbook. But does the lecturer provide this course outline when he comes to class to teach? Or he or she teaches without the students knowing the content of the course? This is what you are going to rate the lecturer on first. So you can rate 5, excellent, or 1, poor, or 4, as the case may be, depending on how the lecturer performs under provision of course outline. Another thing you also look at, all the ratings I'm calling, the ratings will be available online for you to see. Another thing you also rate is adequate preparation for the lecture. Now, on this, during the lecture of any particular course, the question you ask yourself is, how do you rate the lecturer's preparation for the course being taught? Does he or she look very prepared and teaches with very good knowledge of the course and with authority? Or the lecturer just teaches as though he's reading his lecture notes aloud? You will know because you are the student. You may have experienced things like this. This lecturer, he's just reading notes, we don't understand. Or this lecturer can teach very well. In fact, I don't want to miss his classes. You know how to rate them between 5 and 1. Another thing you can rate the lecturer on is the description of the course objective and philosophy. When a lecturer comes to the class, does it tell you the reason for this course is this? At the end of this course, you should be able to know this. You should be able to differentiate between this and this. In life, you require this course in this aspect. Does the lecturer describe this objective and philosophy to you to know why this course is important? You have to score the lecturer based on that. All these are the things that will improve the quality of teaching and make you better graduates. So when we say students are stakeholders in improving the quality of teaching, it's a serious business. It's a serious matter. Another thing you also rate is the attendance at lecture. How often do lecturers come for lectures? Is the lecturer regular or you hardly see the lecturer? It is the students that can say that. When you see this option, rate the lecturer. If it's excellent, give excellent. If it's very good, very good. If it's good, if it's poor, poor. You have to rate. Another thing that is also very important is consistency in following course outline. Now, if the lecturer gives you outline, is this outline followed by the lecturer when teaching, or some of the outlines are skipped? It is only the lecturer, the students that can tell if the course outline given is being followed by the lecturer. It's the student that can tell that. So once the lecturer gives you a course outline, what you have to observe is the consistency in following it. Before I continue, I want to be very sure I'm carrying people along. If I'm carrying you along, just wave your hands, let me take notes. I want to be sure I'm carrying you along. So if I carry you along, wave your hands. All right, I can see some people waving their hands. So I assume we are all following. Okay. Now, another aspect with which you can rate the teaching of a course is the knowledge of the course content. Knowledge of the course content. Now, based on the nature of teaching, how can you assess the lecturer's knowledge of that course content? Can you say, this lecturer knows how to teach this course very well? In fact, I don't want to ever miss this particular lecture, because anytime I attend this lecture, the way it is presented, even if I don't read for exam, at least to some extent, I can pass. You are the one that can do that rating. Another thing you could also rate is facilitation of learning with the use of instructional materials. Facilitation of learning with the use of instructional materials. Now, under this, you ask yourself, does the lecturer use objects in teaching the course to aid description of the topic being taught? So sometimes, in order to make students understand the concept of what a lecturer is teaching, the lecturer may go an extra mile to get some teaching aids if they are available, just to drive a particular message to the students. Do you experience this in this course? You also meet the lecturer on this. Then use and management of lecture periods allocated to the course. You know we have timetables for lectures. The question we will ask as students is, how well does this lecturer adhere strictly to his lecture period or to her lecture period? Does the lecturer follow the timetable accordingly, or he will just fix lectures irrespective of the timetable, or does not have regards at all for the university timetable? It is only the students that can access the lecturer's teaching based on management of lecture period and the timetable. So always have a student, you must have your timetable with you to know if the lecturers for the different courses adhere strictly to the timetable. Because there are situations where if they do not adhere, you'll be missing courses, missing lectures. You'll be missing lectures because lectures might be clashing. But if you lay your complaint in form of assessment of the teaching of the course based on this, we will definitely identify such problems and management will treat it accordingly. Another way we can assess the teaching of a course is by provision of feedbacks and course performance to students. How do you do this? When the lecturer teaches you and gives you assignments, have you ever seen the score for that assignment? Does it tell you, in this assignment, I've marked it, this is your script, you see the score? Or you did tests for a particular course. At the end of the test, you collect the scripts, you mark it, and say, okay, these are the scripts, take, so that you can go through your scores. Do you experience that with these courses you are taking? If yes, you could score. If no, you score. If it happens sometimes, you use your discretion to score. And if the lecturer is teaching, does it give room for questions from students? Maybe at the end of the lecture, he's asking, do we have questions? Anybody with any question? And students respond, and he gives satisfactory answers. These are feedback expected from students. Only when the opportunity is created by the lecturer. Now, do you have such opportunities? If no, you score appropriately. Another one too is a sexual harassment for the course. Now, this one, the rating is not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is a yes or no, and it's not, the rating is not based on somebody's experience or based on rumor. It's based on your own personal experience. So the question is, were you a victim of sexual harassment by lecturer at any time as it concerns that particular course? We're not saying that it concerns any other thing. As it concerns that course, was there any, were you ever a victim of sexual harassment by a lecturer? It is a yes or a no answer. So we have to respond accordingly. Now, if at the end results are collated and it is no from everybody, we say yes. And it's based on students' who access the teaching of that course, or as far as sexual harassment is concerned, is zero. If everybody said yes, we know there's a problem. And if it's a ratio, we will now have to, the school will have to investigate to verify how authentic such is that, or they will take necessary actions to make sure those issues are resolved. Another thing we also assess is financial demand for the course. What type of financial demand? We are not talking about money, or rather blocking or so. Do you spend so much money on the purchase of course materials for that particular course when compared to other courses? Yes, you have to buy textbooks, you have to buy some learning materials for that course. But when relatively, if you are comparing the cost of taking course A to the cost of taking course B, do you spend so much money, or is the difference so significant that it calls for concern? You also state it. And for this particular course, do you experience money for marks? Of course, this is a yes or no answer. Do you pay to get scores? You let us know by giving us necessary feedbacks. And finally, because of time, appearance of the course lecturer. The question is, when a lecturer comes to class to teach, how do you rate the lecturer's dress sense in lecture? Does the lecturer appear well dressed? Do you admire the dress of the lecturer? Or most times, whenever he comes or whenever she comes, she doesn't look, or he doesn't look presentable? It is the students that can say that. So you can score accordingly. So there are several ways of assessing the teaching of a course. Now, let me draw your attention. You are assessing the teaching of that course. It is based on the teaching, or it is based on the rating of that course being taught, that necessary actions can be taken to improve the quality of teaching. Remember, I said students are major stakeholders in ensuring that the quality of graduates' outputs is improved. And these reports, when collated, we get back to the lecturers in form of alerts. In BCH 201, we be rated 60 by the students. We be rated 40 by the students. And this information will also be available to the university management, so that those that require appreciation or commendation can be well commended, while those that need to be encouraged to do better will also be encouraged to do so. Now, all these assessments are going to be done online. It's not going to be paper assessments. So you're not going to be given papers to start writing them. You'll be given a link that will enable you access online. All these questions will be there, and if you need details of how to go about it, it will also be available online. All students will be told what to do when the time comes. So this is just an overview of what students' assessment of academic style teaching is all about. And at this moment, I would like to pause for a while so that I can go through some feedbacks I've got in the course of this presentation, so that we can answer some questions that may have been sent. As I said before, our office is in a new administrative building, Directorate of Quality Assurance and Linkages. And our email address is qal@aauekpoma.edu.ng. qal@aauekpoma.edu.ng. Our phone number, you can also just through phone. You can send a text message and you can call. The phone number is 0808 033 4886. 0808 033-4886. That's our phone number. Now, let's go through some questions we have received. Let me treat them. I will read the questions out and I will give answers to the question. Okay, the first question I'm seeing here.
The method of assessment will be online.
Yes. Somebody is asking.
Olufosebo
Bukola Olufosebo. Sorry if I'm calling your name wrong. Olufosheye is asking, will the assessment of the course be online? Yes, it's going to be online assessment. As I said earlier, your identity will remain anonymous. The course lecturer will not know who is assessing the teaching of that course.
So how will you rate them?
Now, somebody is asking, how do we rate the lecturers? Well, I've gone through it just now. There are different methods of rating. We are using a 5-scale method where 5 is excellent, 4 is very good, and 1 is poor. So you rate each of the parameters. When you go online, you see the different parameters, the different instruments for rating. You can now rate them accordingly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, as the case may be. There's also another question here that if I am sexually harassed for any cause, how confidential is my identity if I rate lecturer poorly? Yes, as I said earlier, your identity remains strictly confidential. It can never be revealed to the course lecturer. It's as confidential as whatever you can think of. So don't be scared at all. Whatever you feel on the teaching of any course, please just rate that course accordingly. Yes, there's another question here. When are we supposed to assess the lecturer's teaching? Is it during the lecture, after the lecture, or at the end of the semester? Yes. You are not to assess the lecturer's teaching while the lecture is going on. At the end of the semester or at the end of the session, the portal for the assessment of the lecturer's teaching will be opened. Then you can now assess the teaching of that course. The reason is because if you are assessing while lecture is going on, you may not be able to get a good appraisal for that particular course in terms of the teaching. So we'll leave it to the end of the semester and end of the session. Then there's another question here. Say, can I access a course I did not register for in the session? You cannot access a course you did not register for the session. It is only courses you registered that you can access the teaching. So if you did not register for BCH 201, you cannot rate the teaching of BCH 201, and it's applicable to all courses. There's another question here. Say, can students know the overall rating of a course? The answer is no. Students cannot know the overall rating of a course. The overall rating is for the lecturer's consumption and that of management. However, students will benefit from the effect of rating that particular course because there is definitely going to be an improved quality of teaching at the next available opportunity. Also, there are other questions. Please, do you mean we'll be doing online class? Yes. Do you mean we'll be doing online class? Yes. Before we started this interaction, I told you that the chairman of the Ambrose Ali University NMS committee sent a message, Professor Eme Azeke, that I should inform all students that any moment from now, we'll be starting online lectures. We are already at an advanced stage, and very soon, the instruction that will enable students to participate in these online lectures will be made available. So please just keep your fingers crossed for the instruction. It's coming up very, very soon.
So what about exam? Will exam be online?
What? Okay, somebody's asking, will exam also be online? Well, by the time the instruction comes out, you'll be given full details of what is going to be online and what is not going to be online. But just to inform you that academic activities, we are migrating to online. And when things stabilize, we'll also continue with our normal lectures. But you know, with a large class size, for a class size of over 500, 1,000, or where the capacity of the lecture hall cannot accommodate the students, in line with the COVID-19 rules, we will definitely go online for such. That is when students are back on campus. So whether or not, and this will be doing online exams anyway, although in terms of the CBB, so it's not new, it's not new to us. But I know what you mean by saying online exams, writing it from home. I know that what you mean. Don't worry, it's just a matter of a very short time. You'll be giving full information on what you'll be involved in, but just know something new is about to take place in Ambrose Ali University. Okay, someone is asking a question. How about 300 level that is doing IT? Are they still going to do the online assessments? Yeah, I'm aware there are some 300 level students who are on IT that also have carryover, because ideally students who are on IT do not have any other course registered for in second semester. IT is normally a second semester. So oftentimes there is no course officially slated for them for second semester. But there are cases where students have some carryover in second semester and they are IT. If for any reason they register for such courses, if at all, and if it's allowed, fine. They can also do their exams online. But as I said, the final details of how things are going to occur will be made available to all students very soon. Someone is asking a question. How about those who do not have access to laptops or good phones? How about those who do not have access to laptops or good phones? Well, I'm very sure most of these questions will be answered in the instructions that will be made available to the students very soon. All these have been taken into consideration, and I can assure you that the moment the instructions are made available, most of these questions will be answered. But I don't want to be too fast to give some answers, some questions when the instructions are but all I can say, all I can assure you is that everything will be to the good of all students. There's a question from Golden. How about we medical students? How do we carry out our practicals? How about we medical students? How do we carry out our practicals? Well, let me say some of these questions can be best answered by the chairman of the Learning Management Systems Committee, and when the instructions are made available, you will have answers to all these questions. So just be patient. Don't worry. Though everything will be in order. Don't worry about that. Yes. Someone is asking if Wi-Fi will be available. I'm not sure of what you mean. Available where? On campus, or your place of residence. I don't really get the question clearly, but definitely to access the internet, you need Wi-Fi. You need a hotspot if you are using your laptop.
Somebody just said, if all these things are online, are we still resuming physically?
Now, someone is asking if all these things are online, are we still resuming physically? Well, just be patient for the school to give directives on resumption and how things are going to take place. So I can assure you that the moment resumption is formally announced, modus operandi, how things are going to work, will be made available to all students. There's some questions are still coming up. Okay, while I wait briefly for any other possible question, I want to use this opportunity to first appreciate the Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor I.A. Onimao, for making it possible for the Directorate of Quality Assurance and Linkages to reach out to all students concerning this interactive session. If you check the school's calendar, there's provision for online interaction with students, and these have been made possible by the
This question is very important from Peter.
Okay, before I continue, there's a question from Peter. He said, in cases where lecturers threaten the students to rate them high to pass the course, what do we do? Let me tell you, no lecturer can threaten any student to rate them high. The reason is because your rating is confidential. No lecturer knows the identity of the students rating them, rating the teaching. Remember, you are not rating the lecturer, you are rating how they teach the course. So no lecturer can threaten the students or students. I'm teaching by 101. If you don't rate me high in this course, I will deal with all of you. It's not possible. So don't be intimidated by any form of threats in terms of rating. You are contributing your own quota to ensure that the quality of teaching is improved. It is your right as a student. So don't joke with that right. You have a major to play in ensuring that you become a high quality graduate of this our great institution. So nobody will threaten you. It's not in the culture. I don't even say that because it's not in the culture for any lecturer to do that. But I'm sure you are speaking using worst case scenario. But I can assure you that worst case scenario is unlikely to happen. Josephine is asking a question. Please, how can we access the online classes that's about to come, that's about to begin henceforth? Yes, I said earlier, the instructions, your login details, everything will be made available to you very soon. We are already at an advanced stage. Any moment from now, students will be informed about their login details and how they can go about it. So just be a little bit patient. I just gave a privileged information from the chairman of the Learning Management System Committee that you should be aware that online classes are commencing any moment from now, and you'll be duly informed accordingly.
Tinuka just asked, is there a session for comment on the learning management system? Yes.
Yes, someone is asking, would it be a session, at Tinuka is her name, so would it be a session for comments on the learning management system? Yes, there will be. Yes, there will be a session for that. You can also make a comment.
For assignment.
For assignment for all, yes.
For tests.
For tests, for everything. There are spaces for comments on the LMS. By the time it's fully live, you see these things for yourself, and it's user friendly.
What a vast student that lacks lights. I think we have.
Okay, I think we've treated most of the questions. As I said, questions will keep coming. You can send your questions to qal@aauekoma.edu.ng. I can assure you that they will be answered. qal aau@aauekuma.edu.ng. I can assure you the questions will be answered. Or you can also send us text messages. Our phone number for the directorate is 0808 033 4886. 0808 033 4886. I repeat, 0808 033 4886. All right, there's another question coming from Oko Gloria. Oko Gloria is saying, just a minute, let me get the question. Oko Gloria, just a minute. Just a minute, Oko Gloria, to get your question.
In a recorded form.
Okay. Hope that online sessions will be available in a recorded form. Also, in case a person is unable to actively participate in the class. Yes, of course. If you miss the class, you can still go online to watch the video of that lecture. But remember, attendance is compulsory. So if you don't attend lectures, even though you have opportunity of go to the lectures again through the video, whatever benefits you get from attendance, you lose it. So please, as much as possible, try not to miss the lectures, either online or offline.
I will still resume on 1st of February. That's the governor's.
Well, okay, so we may have to come to a close, but before then, I want to specially appreciate all students that have joined us in this interactive session. I will call your name as written on Zoom. We have Rita Fashions, God's Grace Oluchukwu. We have Ezechi Precious. We have Uche's iPhone, Uche. We have Edobo Favor. We have Ademola. We have Afoke Raima. We have Agatha Ayosi. We have Cyprian Agbapruka. Sorry if I call your name wrongly. We have Ajala Emmanuel. Akimeji Emmanuel. We have Aleburu Josephine. We have Azimi Josephine. We have Blessing S.A. We also have Blessing Okodua. We have Chika Agbabuka Comfort. We have Comrade Lodnis Akabwe. Yes, I think Comrade Lodnis Akabwe is there. We have Daniel Ibume, Daniel Gladys, Destiny Ojo. So many of them, Dr. Francis, we have Edo Sareti, we have Ehis Leo, Ehigiato, we have so many of them, Emelike Felix, Emraduwa, Emily, so many of them. So please, tomorrow is another day, and tomorrow is very, very important. The reason is because we'll be discussing two important things: plagiarism and the short online certificate courses. Some of our students are taking these short online certificate courses, and we will give opportunity to one or two of them to share their experiences with us tomorrow. So I'm sure you want to hear from your colleagues their experience. And also plagiarism, what it's all about, how does it affect me? I'm in 400 level, how does it affect me? I'm in 300, 200, 100 level, how does it affect me? Tomorrow, we will know. So please inform your friends and loved ones that tomorrow, 2 o'clock, they should come online. Also on YouTube, we have some people that have joined us on YouTube. What I've mentioned now is for those who joined on Facebook. So far, we have more than 20 people on YouTube following us. Others are on Zoom, and some are still joining. More questions are coming. So please, I especially appreciate all students for honoring this invitation, and I pray that as you commence academic activities, God's grace will be upon you. And that the reason for being a student of Abu Salim University shall come to fulfillment according to God's plan. Thank you very much. I remain Dr. O.M. Inyage, the Acting Director, Directorate of Quality Assurance and Linkages.
Someone is asking for the course material.
Okay, someone is asking for the course material. Okay, what will happen is this. I have it in mind. I'll make available soft copies of today's interaction so that students can go through them, especially those who could not join, so that they can also benefit. Thank you very much. Want to tell me bye-bye? Bye. Bye-bye. See you. Bye. Nice.
Hello, my okay, now put video.
Hello, I can see that some people are still online. Okay, let me do something. The first person to send me his or her phone number via chat right now, I'll credit the person's phone with data. So the first phone number to arrive now will get data from me. Send me a phone number, first phone number to arrive. Unmute, say unmute. Can you hear me?
Type, not by word.
Type.
As chat.
Type as chat. The first
one. We have gotten.
We've got
a number carry.
A number has come.
A number carry. Osarugwe.
Is that it?
A number carry in my white.
Okay. So the first phone number we received just now.
A number carry.
Is called. The person's name is Enoba Kairi. Enoba Kairi with phone number. Scroll up.
They are all just writing.
Yeah. Phone number.
It was a teaser.
Yes. Enoba Kairi.
All of them will be writing. Okay.
Enoba Kairi is 0.
No, that's not Enoba Kairi.
Okay, sorry. Well, let me choose that.
My phone. I'm coming. Just 1 minute. The number carry, type the number.
Okay. So the first phone number is 0.
Wait, let's get
Just
it.
wait.
They are all just typing.
Well, we've already got the first phone number.
His name is Enoba Harry, don't worry.
I will check if it's MTN or Glo.
Type it. Enoba Harry is 090
090
27
27
68
68
44
44
81.
81. So 0902 768 4481.
Write it down, madam. Enoba
0902 768 4481. Let me call the number. Hello. Good afternoon. This is Dr. O.M. Inyage, the Director of Quality Assurance and Linkages. Yeah, what's your name? So,
Agbabi.
Phony Precious has also won recharge card.
Data.
It will be sent in form of data. So,
Agbabi.
and one other person will be winning Agbabio card 0906 113 4189. Okay, 0906 113 4189. So that will be all for today. Help us to inform others to join tomorrow's activity. Thank you.